Emmara, Soul of the Accord versus Marchesa, the Black Rose. We have no lands in this hand, so we will mulligan it away. And, oh, great. Let's try again. We'll just have to hope we can scry a land on top. We can, so we'll go for that Plains. We're on the draw, so there's nothing to stop us from getting down the Spineleaf Drum off of the Windswept Heath. I think we'll have to do that. That will, of course, give us some mana when we get down our creature. Our commander creature, that is. Go for a Savannah off of that. Getting something that comes into play untapped. And then we can Springleaf Drum, and we'll have to hope that our opponent doesn't do something crazy with that Mana Vault. Emmara, Soul of the Accord, is a 2/2 for 2 mana. And whenever it becomes tapped, we get a White Soldier creature token with lifelink, a 1/1. And our opponent's Marchesa, the Black Rose, is a 3/3 with Dethrone. Other creatures you have Dethrone. Other creatures you control have Dethrone. And Dethrone is whenever it attacks a player with the highest life total or a higher life total than you. No, it's with most life, or tied for the most life. Yeah, so in 1v1 it's pretty much that. If we have more life than our opponent does, they swing in at us, they get a +1/+1 counter on each creature with Dethrone, which will be all of them as long as Marchesa is out on the field. And then it does have another ability of whenever a creature our opponent controls dies, if it has a +1/+1 counter on it, then it will be returned to the battlefield at the beginning of their next end step. We'll always yield to the Mana Vault, and Olivia Valdarin we do not want to see this early in the game. Not sure if we can do a whole lot about that unless we get into some lucky draws. It might be worth throwing out the Smuggler's Copter sooner rather than later. Probably should have done that last turn actually instead of Emmara. I was a bit busy describing our opponent's commander, so do get into another land though, which is good. I think we could maybe get into... No, I do want to get into the Smuggler's Copter. Or do I want to get into Glare of the Subdual? No, I think we want Smuggler's Copter. So we will play Smuggler's Copter, and we won't make a token until the beginning of our opponent's turn, because there's nothing we want to do with the mana anyway. We could get in for an additional 2, but they're just going to blow it up with the 2 mana ability of Olivia. And yeah, going for a ping on there. I don't know how long it stays a vampire for. Ah, yeah. So that just stays a vampire forever now. So, as we can see, Emmara is now a Elf Cleric Vampire. And I'm sure that they will just swing in with Olivia. Yes, I think I yielded to that already. Maybe I didn't. So as soon as they get 5 mana off of Olivia Valdarin, they'll be able to start taking control of vampires. And she, of course, can ping away all our tokens at will if she wants to. And she's going to be pretty hard to get rid of. We do have exile effects in the deck, so we'll just have to hope that we get into those. And probably just going to take a hit from Olivia here. It is at least going to switch off the Dethrone trigger. And we'll tap that down and get ourselves a token. And then we can yield till the end of the turn because we're not going to do anything now. We'll just have to take 5 from Olivia. Get into another land, which is nice. Yeah, I think if they have to tap down 4 to untap the Mana Vault, then they get down a land, they'll still only have 4. So unless they have something like a Dark Ritual, I don't think they'll be able to take our creature with Olivia. So why don't we go for Trostani while we still can? And that might put the soldier tokens out of range for Olivia. Yeah, we'll go for an untapped Shockland, I think. And then for a single mana, tap down Emmara. And 2, 3, 4, 5. And Tristani Discordant is a built-in anthem. She is a commander herself. Legendary Dryad, 1/4. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. She enters with 2 1/1 White Soldier creature tokens with lifelink. And you gain control of all creatures that you own at the beginning of each... at the beginning of your end step. So unless they plan on taking it with Olivia Valdarin, we could mess up some of their plans there. Okay, we will crew up the Smuggler's Copter. Let's see if we can get into anything good here. Always yield to that, and in this case we do want to do it. I don't think we need another land, especially not with the Growing Rights of Itlamok. We'll be probably getting into a Gaia's Cradle, flipped Growing Rights of Itlamok next turn. We'll always yield to the Tristani trigger. So the only cards we have in hand now which might help us are Glare of Subdual. I have no intention of ditching that into the graveyard. That, by the way, is tap an untapped creature you control, and then you can tap an artifact or a creature. Does of course go well with our Emmara, Soul of the Accord. And Growing Rights of Itlamok. We don't have many creatures in the deck, but when we play it we reveal the top 4 cards, and we can take a creature from out of those and put it into our hand. The rest go on the bottom. So oftentimes it is just clearing 4 cards from the top of your deck, but when you flip it, and you flip it by controlling 4 or more creatures at the end of your turn, you flip it over into a Gaia's Cradle, which is tap for green on each creature you control. It's actually better because it can tap for a single green on its own, so if someone wipes the board, then you can still... I'm just seeing if... you can still tap it for mana, is what I was going to say. I'm just... Whenever a creature you control with a plus... Yeah, so we could kill Marchesa here, but I think there's more value in us keeping our tokens around. We will have to watch out for commander damage, but we can gain back some life with our lifelink creatures if we need to. There's some card draw, but it's expensive. I think what we just want to do instead is Glare of Subdual to buy some time. Yeah, and then it would be nice to Growing Rights of Itlamok, but I don't think we have time for that now. So we'll just have to get that down. We can tap down. We can swing in with the Smuggler's Copter and see if there's anything there that we like. See if we reveal anything off of this. Gaia's Cradle. Have we made a land drop this turn? I think we just ditched the Growing Rights then. I don't think we've made a land drop this turn. Apologies if we have. We have not, so that means that we can... Yeah, there's no need for us to hold mana up. So we can just go for this and refill our hand. And then we have 3 mana left, so we can go for a... either a Miri's Guile. Does this doesn't tap for a coloured mana, unfortunately. Is Miri's Guile more important to us? I mean, we have stuff in the... Yeah, I think we just go for that, and that's another means of tapping down our creatures. There's an argument to be made for getting down the Miri's Guile there. Yeah, I can see an argument for either or, actually. But we can get down Elspeth Sun's Champion next turn. And I haven't actually looked to see what this thing does, which is Magma Saw. Enters with 5+1/+1 counters on it, and at the beginning of your upkeep you can remove 1. If you don't, you sacrifice it, and it deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counts on it to each creature without flying and each player. And that does keep Olivia in play, which is not good. But it does mean that our opponent can't... Yeah, they can't get their commander back in play because they'll need 6 mana. So if we get down the Elspeth, we can kill Olivia permanently, I think. Let's see what they do here, though. Okay, Burnished Heart, not too worried about. Okay, so that knocks us down to 5. And then Burnished Heart next turn can swing in for 2. And what I should have done, of course, is Glare of Subdual. I'm too busy talking throughout this whole thing, and what I should do is... oh, of course, yeah, and then the dethrone trigger... Not the dethrone trigger, but the trigger from Marchesa I completely forgot about. In that case, I think we have to... We still have to Elspeth Sun's Champion, and then they'll hit us for 2. But I think we can claw back from this if we are... Yeah, if we're careful. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, we've just got enough. But we will be able to switch on Guy's Cradle again, as well as these tap mana effects, once we get creatures out with Elspeth Sun's Champion, especially with the parallel lives. So we'll get out Elspeth, and they may well just swing into Elspeth with the Burnished Heart just to get it off the field. But we don't want that Magma Saw to deal damage to us again. Could have saved ourselves some life there had we have not been talking about other things, but not to worry. I know there's some people come here for watertight gameplay, but I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. This isn't... I'm under... No, I don't want anyone to be under the impression that this is some kind of competitive EDH channel. It's mainly for fun. There are a few slightly more competitive decks that I run, like Merrin of Clan Nel Toth, Lazar of the Multifarious, but for the most part it's just fun commanders. And yeah, this is one of them. This actually, I've been playing around with this deck for a while. Sometimes you just get stomped. It's not... It might just be my deck being poor, of course, but it might be the fact that it is just... Oh, going for Olivia again, I'm guessing, off of the Reanimate. Yeah, I don't think it's the greatest 1v1 card. Maybe it's better in multiplayer, I don't know. But I'd be intrigued to see what our opponent goes for here. If they go for the Elspeth or if they go for us. Yeah, they're going for the Elspeth, which I think is correct for them. So now we need to get into... Our commander will cost 4. We can start making use of the Glare of Subdual. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can tap it to untap this. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we can... I'm just trying to work out if we can parallel lives first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. I don't think we can, unfortunately. No, I don't think we can. We'll have to go for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can... yeah, we can parallel lives. Yes, we can. So if we go 1... Yeah, we want to get down the parallel lives before we tap it down for mana. Our commander down for mana. We can, of course, block with the Smuggler's Copter if we want to. but I think Glare of Subdual is going to help us immensely throughout this game. Unless they... Yep, they're going to ping it for 1 and then probably ping it again, which is not very nice of them. And unfortunately, had they done that beforehand, we could have gone for Collective Effort, which would have destroyed a creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, we don't have the mana for that. We have no means of making mana for it either, I don't think. There we go, we get a couple of things out there. And I should have gone for green off of that to get out Miri's Guile, but yeah, not to worry. We'll just pass it over to our opponent. Not hopeful about winning this game, but I think it's quite an interactive one, so probably upload it and show you all a little bit of what Emmara can do. Like I say, I had hopes for her. She can go crazy on your opponent, or she can just really not do a whole lot. And like I say, that's not necessarily the commander. That might be my build. Yeah, and our opponent is... They might be trying to play around the... I think they're just going to steal our commander with Olivia. They will have to untap with the Mana Vault next turn, or they are going to die to it. And that'll be only 2 mana that they'll have open next turn. Although, oh yeah, they can still tap with the Mana Confluence because they have the Urborg. They can only tap it for black though, so it will screw their mana as well. So we'll just hold back and see what our opponent does. I don't know if they can ping us with that. No, it's to another creature. So they can pay 2 and ping another creature. Not us. Otherwise I'm sure they would have been doing that. Okay, probably stealing... Yep, so they're gaining control of our commander. And then in response to whatever they do here... Yep, they're going for combat, so we will tap down their Olivia. And then if they swing in with the Burnished Heart, which they do not, we will go for... Yeah, I don't think there's anything we want to do there. Slate of Ancestry. Well, I think we want to get rid of that Olivia. And probably the Burnished Heart as well. Right, I'm going to risk an Arid Mesa. And do we want to... What's the crew cost on this? That is crew 1, so we don't have to worry about buffing everything. Oh, actually, what am I thinking? I think we can just swing in with everything. Yeah, I'm clearly completely overthinking that. First game of the day, and it is could have gone in for the Smuggler's Copter as well. I'm just assuming that they have... Well, I'm not assuming anything, I just completely missed the play. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Apologies to my opponent there. I didn't actually mean to drag the game out for longer than it needed to be dragged out there. It's one of my first runs with the deck, and clearly I don't know what I'm doing with it. We could have tapped down for Smuggler's Copter there, and that would have given us evasion, and we could have swung in there. Our opponent did the right thing and played it out, because we may well have missed that play, which we almost did, clearly. But we had Collective Effort, and we could have tapped down one of our tokens to get rid of the Olivia. That would have been a mistake, because then we couldn't have gotten rid of the... Well, we could have gotten rid of Burnished Heart somehow with Aura Shards, maybe. No, we didn't have a means of getting a creature into play, so yeah, glad I didn't rush into that, because that would have been a mistake to do that. Yeah, good game to our opponent. Almost had us there, partly due to our own misplays. I'm going to keep playing the deck, keep practicing with it. I don't think it's top tier by any means, but I do think it's a fun deck and an excuse I can find to play token builds. I will take. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.